Hello everybody. Thank you so much to Zachary Fineman for joining us today, the actor who plays Felix on the new Netflix limited series Boo Beach. Thank you, Zach, for joining us.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a bit, what's been the main element in this character and the show in general that fascinates you the most and drew you to join this show?
Yeah, well, overall, the show is so fun and so well written, and it's heartfelt and funny at the same time. So, um, in particular, drawing that into playing Felix was a blast because, my character, he could have easily been just written as a generic barista, right? Who was just like, "What can I get you?" But immediately when I got the audition, uh, I saw how fun he was and opinionated and just having just having a rough day, which I think we can all relate to. I certainly can. So
Yeah. Yes.
so that immediately helped bring it to life and made it so much fun to play.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, despite the character was very marginal on the show, it was super fun to watch. And so, what's been how was it like for you to play this character? What's been the main challenge in portraying this character?
Yeah, well, because as I was saying before, it's so fun to just play this character as as so opinionated, and I mean, just from the opening, just so upset about the temperature in that coffee shop. They gotta turn up the heat a little bit. I mean, so it was so fun playing that, and being in a real restaurant as well really helped bring it to life. And one interesting challenge was for the first time on a professional sense, I got to do ADR with it, which, if you haven't heard of that, stands for, I believe, automated dialogue replacement.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a really fun experience coming in after the shoot in post production, going into the editing bay and matching my voice with on screen to get that perfect dialogue. So that was certainly a new challenge that I had a blast with, going in and syncing my words with what was happening on screen.
Yes, absolutely. I can imagine how that must feel to get in touch with this all behind the scenes procedures of creating a show. And how is
Yeah.
it in those scenes you played Felix? You had the chance to work with Lana, Condor, and Zoe Colletti. How was it like to work with them?
So fun. Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to be able to work with them, who are total pros and are totally leaders of the set. Just being able to see how they interacted with everybody, and in general, when you're coming in to do just an episode or two on a show, you don't always know what to expect, right? Because everybody's been working together for a while. They could be like a family, and so coming on, you don't know what to expect, but everybody was so warm and welcoming and immediately friendly and supportive off the bat. So I just had such a great time.
That's
Felt really
really
lucky to be part of it. Yeah.
That's really beautiful to hear, considering also the tough environment you actors are working on. It isn't so obvious to have such a welcoming cast and crew. And so it's really beautiful to hear that.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate where everything I've worked on, people have always been so warm and welcoming, and I think again, hats off to the main cast and crew of being so aware of going out of their way to really make us feel good and welcome. Just great.
Absolutely. And just a fun question that we always ask to the people we're interviewing, and considering we're talking about Boo Beach, it's on the About Boo Beach universe. If you could choose another character apart from Felix that you would have loved to play, which one would it be on the show?
Oh man, well, I'll say I loved the whole story and characters with the afterlifers.
Yes.
They're so fun, and they all did an amazing job. I'm always a fan of characters who are seen as like the oddballs or the misfits or the nerdier ones, what have you. Those are always the most fun to play. So yeah, gotta say it would be fun to be in that crew.
Yes, that was a really a super fun storyline and an unexpected twist that I really enjoyed myself while watching the show.
Totally.
Yes. And throwing back instead to the origins of your career as an actor, how did the passion for acting came about in your life?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the Bay Area, kind of the suburbs of San Francisco. And I grew up doing theater there, as well as improv, musical theater, always grew up doing that. And then as I got older in the Bay Area, I got to do a couple local commercials, which was really fun. And there was one that was for like a local hospital that was there. And in the shoot, we did it like in the woodsy area on a hill. And I learned for the first time there that I have seasonal allergies, and I started like sneezing and coughing and all of this stuff. But despite that, I was still like, let's shoot, we got it. And they're like, are you okay? You need a minute? No, we're good. So I think, I really knew at that moment, like, all right, nothing's going to stop me. This is too fun.
Yeah. And among all the roles you had the chance to play so far, was there any role that you're particularly fond of?
Well, I have to say, last year I got to shoot this HBO show, got a little part on this show called Criminal Enthusiasm, which was a blast in a dream because I grew up watching that show. My family loves that show, so that was surreal. And growing up doing improv, getting to do a little improv with these total legends was, again, just didn't feel real. So I really enjoyed that for sure. And
another, which it was one role that helped you grow as an actor among all the roles you played so far?
It was interesting. There was this other show that I got to come on called Minx on HBO was really interesting because the scene that we were shooting was eating dinner, and you never think that eating and acting would be a big deal, right? But I was like, oh, there's so much nuance to this because you can't be eating if you're about to do your dialogue and you got food in your mouth. So that was a great learning experience in talking to one of the leads who was, everybody there was also so welcoming, they were basically breaking it down of like, you don't want to be eating too much leading up to your line. In fact, you want to probably be eating as little as possible. So that was a really another fun experience. I was like, all right, I'll get this balance down. Yeah,
that was really challenging. I couldn't think that having dinner and acting together could be that challenging.
You wouldn't think, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about the future, what's next for you as an actor? Do you have any project coming up? Any other shows or theater?
Yeah. I mean, a couple projects that I got to shoot that still waiting for those to air, which will be exciting. And in the meantime, just keep working on new projects, keep going with auditions and things like that is really having fun with doing those. And everything now is auditions now are all done self-tapes, meaning you shoot it at home and then send it in. So that's been a whole new creative endeavor versus going in person. So I'm actually having fun with that as well.
Yes. And if you had to name your dream role, which one would it be?
Oh man, dream role. I think going back to what I said of I really enjoy playing these sort of oddball out characters or sort of these misfits, getting to be kind of an ensemble comedy and playing a character like that with a full season arc would be a total blast. I think that's on my list.
Yes, I can imagine that. And that's a question that's particularly a tricky question for actors. I had the chance to talk with other actors and asking the same thing, and they were really they couldn't wonder what to answer. But since you experienced both TV and theater, and I don't know if you had some experience with cinema and movies, but if you had to choose between television, theater, and cinema, which topic, which kind of acting would you like more?
Oh man, it's that's a tricky one. That's tough because I love them all, and they're all different in their own ways. And at some point, I'd certainly have a blast getting back on stage and doing the theater stuff. Right now, I'm really enjoying getting to come in for these TV projects and be pursuing that, as well as film. So right now in that world, but I could totally see going back to the theater at some point, back to the roots.
Yes. And if you had to give some advice to people among our readers that want to pursue an acting career, which kind of advice would you give them?
I would say start with a local acting class. And even though that may seem basic, not only is that a great place to learn and grow the craft and see how you're really liking it, but it's also a great way to build a community of like-minded people, right? It's you're going to class, and now you've got these friends that can last a lifetime and who kind of have the same interest and passion as you, and you can really learn and grow together. So, something as simple as taking a class can really take you a long way.
Yes, that's really a beautiful answer, and I think people will really appreciate it, and it will help people who are trying to get into this world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's where you make some great friends. I still am hanging out with some friends later from class. So
yes, and that's all for us. Thank you so much to Zachary Fineman for joining us. And let's remind people that Boo Beach is now available on streaming on Netflix. And Zach, if you had to describe the show to the people who haven't watched it yet, how could you describe it?
Oh man, I mean, it's I'll just leave it at it's such a fun comedy with, as I mentioned, with twists and turns on the way that's heartfelt, and the creators who worked on all these other amazing shows you'll see on the block, and it's really a show for people who want something fun to have a good time, something that you can binge watch. Definitely go check it out.
Thank you so much, and I hope you had a great time with me, and thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, this was a blast. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.